see faces here. Some of you have travelled all the way from north, west, taking early morning flights or coming yesterday just for this session. And what is all this about? It is a session, a full day session with multiple fragments for the full day conference organized by Institute of Medicine and Law. I sincerely thank the Institute of Medicine and Law for organizing this fantastic togetherness today, for inviting me and for inviting all of you, because of which we have a platform today to meet together and get together. And what is the purpose of meeting together today? The purpose of meeting together is to make navigation in hospitals much more easier than what is it today. Today, we as hospital administrators definitely want to run our hospitals very efficiently. We do our best. We lay down SOPs, we lay down protocols, we train our juniors, managers, everybody to run the departments, including the clinicians with respect to procedures. We get ourselves accredited by NABH, JCI, ISO, various organizations, so that when we are accredited by these quality bodies, it is ensured that there is a minimum standard of care. For these accreditation bodies will give us accreditation only if we follow a certain reasonable standard of practice. We may not be the best, we may not secure 99% out of 100, but unless we secure a reasonable percentage, the quality people don't accredit us. And therefore, we administrators, we do our best to, sail smoothly, give the best to the consumer, because today we know consumer is king, and train all our staff. But however, as administrators, we have to ensure that whatever protocols we lay down in our institution is in accordance with the law. That nothing should be in violation with the law. And therefore, every administrator definitely updates them with the latest law and the latest legal issues, amendments to act, latest things and all that. And when the update is done, therefore, the SOPs are modified accordingly in the different departments in accordance with law. For if a procedure or a protocol is laid down by an administrator which does not in accordance with the law, the whole thing becomes null and void and does not stand. And that is the reason today that all administrators, earlier it was just hospital administration, today it is just hospital administration, but the legal flavor has to be there and one has to be conscious and aware of the legal updates. Keeping in view the legal updates, now what has happened? The navigation definitely has got a lot of speed breakers. Example, none of us can refuse a patient coming to an emergency even if he doesn't have money on him. None of us can refuse an emergency patient if they have no relatives, if they are not conscious, if they are not in a proper oriented sense, etc. We cannot turn away such patients. We have to give the best possible care to them. Now, this definitely for a corporate hospital later on becomes a problem. No relatives turn up, the person which is still delirious, still not properly, doesn't become conscious, we have to do surgeries. And later on, even the person becomes conscious, everything, the relative comes there. Ultimately, they say we have no money to pay. And today the bills, let me tell you, with the consumer bills and everything, the way the medical expenses, the pharmacies, the drug consumption, etc. is so high, it may be in multiples of lakhs. Okay, if it is a trust hospital, it's still a different issue. If it is a non-trust hospital, or in any case, it's a long-paying patient who just cannot, barely lives in the slums, you have no option, You just cannot say, therefore, at the time of admission, these are the rates and this is it, this is it. So here we are bound by law. We have to go ahead. And these are the things which all of us face. And despite they don't pay, BP Shamta versus IMA, that's another big judgment. When you have certain patients who are paying in your hospitals and certain patients who are not paying in your hospital. But however, even if the service is rendered towards the patient who are not paying, you become liable for that. Therefore, in the end, what happens? Patient doesn't pay, but still they can still remove some might thing and hold the halter and pull you up and down the consumer court, criminal court, Maharashtra Medical Council, Indian Medical Council for today. Let me tell you the trend, the latest trends in the last 6 months to 1 year, what we all have been noticing. With the latest compensation going to 11 lakhs, Tamil Nadu, the compensation for the child 1 lakh. See, compensation less than 20 lakhs is difficult to hear these days. Let me tell you, over the last 1 year, I have not heard compensation less than 20 lakhs. So, the trend and see these going into the press. What do the relatives think? What do the consumers think? What do the patients think? They think it is a way to immediate success, immediate becoming rich. It is like a lottery ticket. So कुछ नहीं हुआ तो भी कुछ किधर से खोद के निकालने का, They search, they go deep, they remove some point, Simple thing like somebody was rude, so there is a mental torture. These are the things, It becomes, we think, what is this? In a stress, somebody may have said something, but that person says it caused a mental damage, all those things. People go to the extent, and today the fashion is, first thing they issue a notice to the doctor under the State Medical Council or the Indian Medical Council, that is one threat about his license. Immediately they go to the police start coming, that is a threat of a criminal case, and if within a couple of months, if the doctor and the institution are strong and they support each other and they reply and they are defined, then what happens? Then they easily go to the consumer courts and ask for a thumping compensation. In crores. So this is what this triple weapon which the consumer today as a fashion, it has become a fashion. As they say the jeans was a fashion or the sari was a fashion or long sleeve was a fashion. It's a fashion. Triple pronged attack. Last 1 year, this is what, genuinely I have been seeing and sure many people of my colleagues have been witnessing. Immediately council में जाते हैं, immediately police का complaint चिट्ठी आता है, and after few months consumer. I mean people are just taking us like anything, and we have here the law. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do this. So we become liable even if they are not going to pay. Getting rid of them is one headache. Again, the person who's coming, patient of sexual assault, with all the thing, Nirbhaya thing happened, she made history in India. By her parents made history by going up to the highest thing, her boyfriend did, they made history. But in the end what happened? With the number of rape cases, every rape case being notified. Initially, it's not that initially rape was not happening, they were not being notified. But now every rape case started getting highlighted. So it is felt rape is becoming a big issue. Jokes, for a simple joke, there was an Indian candidate who went for an interview abroad in Europe, and let me tell you, and this is a true story, the candidate was rejected, you must have heard in the news, because he's an Indian. Oh, there will be a rape in this university. But then later on it was okay and all. So then, this thing like sexual assault means if a victim of sexual assault comes to your hospital, you are bound to give treatment. It has come now over the last 6 to 8 months. All of us have those kits for sexual assault in our hospitals. I'm sure all of you all must be having. And in a sexual assault, the victim gets 3 lakhs easily. But we have to treat the patient. Run to the forensic, collect the samples, and get the thing, admit if required, everything. It is a real thing, and call the police, and which hospital likes to get, police coming, this, that, then go to the court, give statement, 10 times you have to go to court, all those things. Doctor is troubled. See, in the end what happens, the best evidence is given by the doctor. The doctor has to say, these are the injury marks, this is this, etc. This is again, see, the speed breakup certificate because of the law. Patients in active labor cannot be refused. Okay? So you have to take care of it even if you are a hospital who doesn't have obstetric services, mind you. Let me tell you, like in the institution where I work, we don't have active obstetrics. But a person comes, full term, dilated, head-on peritoneum, we have to do. We can't just say go back and the person and the child die on the way. So you have to be ready for such emergencies. So this is the act which says. Again, recently consumers' rights have been highlighted. There was a judgment which said yes, the patient should be allowed to buy his own medicine from outside. You know, it is his right to choose. He is informed, yes. We, of course, after that Dalvi judgment, we don't charge more than MRP. Okay, that all of us follow that rule. But we have always put up or informed in our brochures that we give all the treatment under one roof. You'll get your linen, you'll get your bed sheet, you'll get your food. You don't have to purchase food from outside. We give you medicines, because when we stock medicines, we assure they are from authentic dealers, authentic manufacturers, and we are going to give in the right dose. We sterilize the items properly. We are assured, and we have our quality controls well in place, that we are giving the medication with full quality control, the consumables with full quality control. But at the same time, if a judgment comes, and then write in capital letters all of us which are falling, write in generic, and with all these disputes, tomorrow some intelligent patient says, I want to buy from outside my own medicine. It is very difficult to say no, because the law says, can we have a policy which is not in accordance with the law? No! When we are again, the healthcare organization comes under the span. So the state can make a thing. So with a patient going and buying his own medication, can we be assured of quality? No. Can we go to a hotel and eat our own food? And then if we get a stomach upset, can we blame the hotel? It is a hotel food. We partake some hotel food and partake some of our own vegetables. And something happens, we can't take the hotel, we consume your food, right? Or whatever it is similar to that. They come, okay, they may buy something from theirs. We do not know the quality, from where it is, which company, where, and something happens tomorrow, adverse effect, near miss, medication error, so on and so forth. It can be even our age. Anything like SJS killed that lady of 11 crore. Steven Johnson killed that lady. Simple thing, it was an overdose of the drug, right? Simple thing. So similarly, something happened, toxic effect, again the doctor and the hospital is liable for all these things. So this, what is happening? Law is there. As hospital administration, we have to set our policy in accordance with law. Period. You cannot have policy other than the law. So therefore, today we are all here for what? We are here to deliberate, come out various issues. There are so many problems all of you all face in day-to-day exercise, in day-to-day running of your hospital, where the law is coming in the way, and therefore it is becoming difficult for your navigation as hospital administrators smoothly to exercise your function. Right? So, the Institute of Medicine and Law has created a fantastic platform today for all the administrators. We chalk out, we put our problems, what we face in our hospitals, when we lay down a policy where the law is coming, and therefore again we are in dilemma. We do not know, we cannot disobey, at the same time we obey, we have issues. We will enumerate these issues, give it to the Institute of Law and Medicine, and they in turn are going to correlate with the Delhi Health Ministry and other central people. Isn't it? Advocate Balaji is here, he is a senior counsel, Supreme Court of India. His firm is there, and with him, part of Institute of Law and Medicine, and they would then put it up to them once they talk to the health minister and with the lawmakers, law ministry, that these are the problems. What we are is expected is that they could amend, they could make some discount so that hospitals can work in a more smoother way with less speed breakers. The navigation becomes more easy, at the same time healthcare delivery to the citizens of India, to the people at large. They all have Article 21 Indian Constitution, which is enshrined, right to health, right to life. They all are basic things. We will deliver the healthcare to them, we will preserve their life, but the law will be in such a way that the healthcare institutions do not suffer. It is not a problem for healthcare institutions. So, with this, what I would expect, we have 7, 8, 9, at least about 12 people here. So at least 12 issues, if not more, with Sir here and Dr. Khoyani, senior administrators, Sir. You are there. So many senior administrators are here today, all of you. We can probably all, with a small round, 2 minutes, we can all introduce ourselves to each other, so all of you are familiar. and then we can start deliberating. We'll talk about the issues, and the next session is at 12, right? Before 12, by 11:45 we wind up and we make an issue, give it to the Institute of Law and Medicine, and they take up with the Law Ministry. Before we introduce ourselves to each other over a few minutes and then start deliberating, I would request Advocate Balaji Srinivasan to say a few words, Dr. Vashishta to say a few words, and then we start deliberating. Thank you so much, but please contribute. That is what we all are.
As hospital administrators, not only would you want to face your medical negligence matters which come to you on a day-to-day basis, there are many other facets there are regulatory compliances which you need to do. There are biodisposable waste which you need to deal with. I think that is an area we need to focus more. I'm sure medical negligence cases are that is the only topic that is being discussed. There are others we need to focus on so that we come up with a comprehensive set of issues to be dealt with. With these words, I'll give it to Dr. Vashish. I think Dr. Vashish can take over now. And thank you. Thank you.
Very good morning. What I could understand from this session is that this is a sort of open house focused on the problems of any healthcare institute. Am I right? Hello?
Yes, you're perfectly right,
okay.
Doctor.
So, just I will also not take much time. As ma'am suggested, we should introduce ourselves. Before that, I will just let you know a small incident. May I know how many are doctors in this crowd? Good. एक पीछे उसके बोलेरो था, दोनों से आ रहे थे, एक्सीडेंट हुआ, पीछे से बोलेरो जो आया दूसरे लेडीज को देखा. There were 6 passengers. 3 died on the spot. और पीछे बोलेरो वालों ने कहा कि किस्मत खराब है, भगवान को ही मंजूर था. उन 3 में से then they started rushing them to a hospital on the main highway. On the way, 2 patients succumbed because there were serious injuries. Again, Kismat Bhagwan ko manzoor tha. But unfortunately, please underline this word, unfortunately for the healthcare institutes, one patient could be wheeled into casualty of one hospital. There, in 10 to 15 minutes, in spite of the best treatment, patient died. Doctor ne maar diya. This is the general perception. Doctor ne maar diya. Any death, we as doctors know cause of death, we have to certify, we have to investigate. But in today's era, particularly with the media, the only cause of death now is doctor. Any death is resulted by doctor if it is in the hospital. Outside, it is by God. So we should deliberate upon these issues. Why? What are the reasons? Wherein every person, even the Prime Minister of India from the Red Fort, addressing the nation as the first address last year, says, मैं डॉक्टर भाइयों से भी कुछ माफी मैं चाहूंगा कि थोड़ा सा इंसानियत और थोड़ा सा वो सोचे. Why? You cannot paint. And let me tell you, this is the only profession on the earth which can answer one question in a very simple way. What do you do for your livelihood? I save life. Nobody else, no other profession can answer this. Still noblest. 95% plus are honest, doing their duty truthfully, so that we should deliberate. And as Madam had requested, we will start one by one, introducing yourself or taking a question.
For Fortis, West and East.
Morning, everybody. Dr. Karan Jekar, I'm right now Group CEO for the Jupiter Group of Hospitals.
Good morning. I am Dr. Chitta Prasad Das. I own a 20-bedded pelvic vascular surgery unit in OSC.
Arvind out here. I'm a healthcare IT person. I just want to understand how IT can help in whatever you realize.
Good morning, I am Uday Tiwari. I am from Hiranandani Hospital. Good morning, myself is Vivek Thakur. I am heading HR and Administration at Hiranandani Hospital.
Dr. Vijay Kadaria, Chief Medical Officer, NCML Hospital and Head of the Emergency Services.
Good morning all of you. I'm Dr. Jagdish Koyani. I'm Center Head for Vokad Hospital, Rajkot.
Good morning. I am Dr. Vivekanshu. I am working as a medical legal expert and emergency physician in Vedanta Hospital, Gurgaon.
Good morning, Mr. Dr. Amjad. I am from Bislov Hospital and head of clinical pharmacology.
Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Rohit Sane, the owner of Madhavbag Ayurvedic Cardiac Rehabilitation Center. We have a chain of 130 clinics and 2 hospitals all over Maharashtra.
Yes, ma'am. I'm from MQ. Okay, now we start.
Frequent calls from the emergency, and it becomes, we are in dilemma how what to decide upon. 2 things. One is providing emergency care. So what does the emergency care mean? Where it stops, where is the borderline? What is the definition of emergency care? For example, a patient comes with head injury, he's got an extradural bleed. The emergency treatment should be take him to the theatre to operate him, put him on a ventilator, and you just can't stop there. Things keep going. A trauma patient coming in, extensive trauma, abdominal bleed, huge amount of coagulation. The factors, blood products, surgeries, consumables are used. It's a big surgery that goes on. A stroke patient comes, acute stroke in the window period. It's an emergency, thrombolysis, very expensive medication to be given. And should we say no? Yes. And how are we going to cover this cost? So this really is worrisome. When I get calls from the emergency, I'm in dilemma what to tell. Yes, no. How am I going to be? How am I going to protect myself? How am I going to protect hospital? How I'm going to be legally right? These are the issues that always come.
Okay. So yeah. So that we have to get clarified. There has to be some guidelines. You mean in certain things where to stop or that is it. Very important. Because some people they feel yes that I will not leave the hospital till I am fully cured. Some people don't mind. Okay, you can't afford. We'll give a cardiac ambulance. We'll transfer you. Some people say no. If they refuse to go, that's a different issue. Suppose the hospital where they are giving treatment, naturally we all give good treatment. They say, we want to stay here only. Then where does it end? You can't just throw them out. No way. Isn't it? Now, okay, the law says you have to stabilize them and transfer them. Excellent. But as Dr. Babu said, okay, if there is a thing, and then what will the law say? Suppose the patient refuses to leave your premises despite the fact they cannot afford, and they are very happy with your hospital, Dr. Karanjikar. How do you handle it? It's very tough, no?
Very tough. More angles.
Can I just say that is it considered as a good Samaritan act by taking somebody without hospital? You are getting involved. Somebody throwing himself on you, and you are getting involved. Is it considered as a good Samaritan act? If so, would you be liable legally if the patient has any negligence during the treatment? He is not paying you anything, but still, would you be liable for that?
If he's brought to the emergency, you have to take it. Till he's brought to the emergency.
No, that's what I'm saying. See, the European, NHS in England,
yes,
they don't allow you to do good Samaritan act because you are not covered by NHS for that. I am just quoting one instance.
Here we are not covered.
So, if you are not covered,
we do not have good Samaritan law. We are not going to go to the road and pick up. We are discussing. Therefore, we do not go to the road.
No, would I be responsible if the patient dies during the treatment due to some kind of negligence?
In good faith. Treatment in good faith.
Yeah.
That should be there.
2-3 issues come actually. One is, as rightly said, that the patient coming to the emergency or to the hospital, by law you will have to provide the treatment. There is no escape as of now. How long? How far? Because stabilization, as she said that full-term delivery coming to your hospital, today I am bound by NABH and JCI where I display these are the services I don't provide. And I really don't provide. My emergency fellow is not ready to do the deliveries, or even my surgeons may not be ready to do the seizures. How do I treat this patient? One part. Second part is, right now we are discussing on the areas, urban areas. I would like to ask 100 kilometers from here, where I get a patient, what do I do? Even transporting to the, because it is my responsibility, whether under NABH or under law, it is my responsibility to stabilize and transport him to a proper place. And if that proper place is 100 kilometers away or 50 kilometers away, and in India this will be happening at various places, how do I manage it? I can't manage it. I don't have expertise. Bigger hospitals may have. It's not a question of bigger hospital. At least some doctor will do something. The smaller hospitals, nursing home, where the single doctor entities are there or two doctor entities are there, and you treat everything under the sun. Not possible. You can't transfer it. Where you will take it? 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers, you don't have even the ambulance to take him to there. What do you do with this patient? And this patient if dies, then it is your responsibility. How do we tackle this situation? Money is a secondary part, yes. Money is an important part. In big cities this happens every day with us. Every hospital this happens. But taking it aside, somebody's death, it will be painful for me. I can't do anything. I can't treat a head injury. But then how do I do with that?
So what
See
you are...
the term stabilization itself is an ambiguous term. It may mean differently in different situations, number one. Number two, medical science is not mathematics, where 2 into 2 is equal to 4. Every case is a new case, every system is a new system, every disease entity is a new entity. It depends on the behavior of the patient's body response. Then the most important out of all is that we don't have a single regulation. There is a conflict of law between different statutes. Let us discuss. Clinical Establishment Act says that you stabilize and transfer the patient. Number one. What is stabilization? Nowhere it is mentioned. Number two. You cannot profess what you do not know or what you are not qualified in. So what Madam said, that if you come across a patient with head in the perineum, an advanced stage labor, you can't refuse. But if something untoward happens, then the courts and the laws, in law's eyes, you did not have NICU for premature babies, for shortfall babies. So these conflicts and these anomalies, they should be first rectified so that there is a single statute governing the medical profession. Because see, consumer forum, they have their own guidelines. Media judges differently. Media influences the courts. Indrani Mukherjee is more important than anything else. Whatever, see. So we have to have a unified approach, and we should request the government to deliberate upon a unified statute. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying something. You were saying something.
Till the law is amended and the people who are involved in taking accident patients like me, I am thinking of putting a board outside. This is an elective hospital and we are not having emergency services in 3 languages, in Oriya, Bengali, Hindi.
But in India, you are not, you are liable to take emergency as per Supreme Court judgment.
See, if I am not there,
He's not there.
you say he's not there. It's a part-time elective
Single
hospital.
specialty hospital.
I'm just
He's
saying.
the only one.
Yes.
He has to go to attend the marriage. He has to go to drop his son into the school.
Yes.
But
I'm a
today,
part-time
the
hospital.
law says, I mean, correct me if I'm enlightened on this. I mean, we have Advocate Balaji here. Even if you're a general practitioner and a person comes who's severely bleeding in an emergency and the GP does nothing, what can the general practitioner do except arranging a transport to another hospital or maybe giving some unsterile linen, whatever they have to compress. But if the GP doesn't do that, the GP is then facing act of considered to act of negligence. So even if you put a board here elective, you still cannot refuse life-threatening emergency.
Madam, then they
Madam,
will come to even home.
Yeah.
You do not know. No, hospital is one thing.
Yeah.
We
Home
are
is
staying.
different, Dr. Jagdish.
No, even
Again,
in
if this
home,
point comes,
even in home,
can we refuse? Because people are aware, okay, this person is staying at home.
Home,
So in a society where, in today's day, the societies of 400, 300,
Where
400
you
flats.
put as a clinic. See, basically, Dr. Koyani, you have to put yourself, your general practitioner means where the label is as a clinic. Basically, it will be included where you have a label of a cross or a doctor means you consider it as a treatment facility. A home is not a treatment facility. Correct me, Mr. Balaji?
Yes.
You are a Supreme Court. So, if it is my residence, there I don't put any sign that this is this thing. But if I have a general practice and my clinic is across the road and there is a sign, if it is locked, it's a different. But if you are present there, for any chance, by any chance, if you are present there, see if your clinic is locked, nothing you can do. But your clinic is on and the doctor is in. The doctor is physically present there. Then something has to be done. At least make a telephone call to get a.
That much we can do, but
Yes,
you know,
nothing more.
getting a patient in for treating an emergency without the necessary infrastructure and facility
Yes.
is putting us in a defensive way.
Exactly.
You see, like there are cases where even traveling in the flight, people say don't declare yourself as a doctor because the moment somebody is not well, you attend to the patient, and if something goes wrong with that patient, you are connected to that.
Yes.
Okay.
So if, as you say, you are saying you will put a board of elective, okay. But when a life-threatening emergency comes, the least what you are supposed to do, and if you are present there within, or somebody is present, at least arrange a transport.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
I mean,
it.
being present will be responsible for the
Yes.
patient, but if you are not present,
Then the question of you being liable does not
I
arise.
think we are
Or,
going into the humanity ethics.
Yes. No, no.
Even if one is not a doctor, somebody is
Yes.
bleeding, he will put his
Yes,
hand,
definitely.
compress it. See, that is a different aspect. But what man is saying, a patient in Mr. Balaji must be aware of that State Commission Delhi judgment, wherein a physician treated a severe acute coronary syndrome patient through thrombolysis in Delhi, and he was held negligent because he was not a cardiologist. See, this is the conflict. Again, it is being, corroborated.
At that point of time, what I said, see, here, I think.
Diverting from
But
the-
since we are there,
yeah.
we will trash it out for the grid. At that point of time, suppose you get an emergency patient and you are there. It would make sense for you, you will obviously open a case sheet. It would make sense for you to record at that point of time, I have received this patient at this condition, I don't have facilities, I am trying my best to revive him or stabilize him, or I have said this, the patients have said no, don't do it, you please take over and sort it out. If you record these events which are happening, I am sure if something happens, the judges will take a very different view than what has been taken. See, all the cases which Dr. Vashish or all of us read are cases where in case records it is not maintained properly. The documentation has been a little, because doctors by nature think that, look, I am not here to make the case records, I am here to treat the patient. But fortunately or unfortunately, the situation today is, it is the document which speaks for itself. 6 months, 8 months down the line, it is the documents which is going to get you the benefit of doubt. Believe me, the courts do not think that the doctors are bad people. Doctors think lawyers are bad people. But courts do not think doctors are bad people. They will try to imagine where the doctor is at that point of time when he is treating an emergency care. So that's my advice to you. But coming back to the agenda of
Because
the
now
discussion today is what is the, all of us face this problem.
Different issues. Emergency is one. What are the other issues which a hospital administrators should face and which we should take up? Yes.
It was away from Mumbai,
Yes.
talking about. If suppose you have taken care of the person, you go to a small village and only find there is an accident and there is a doctor around. So yes, he stays somewhere down the line in the street. You can please call him up and comes and helps you out and then ask you to be transferred. And suppose let's say you have the National Ambulance Services 102 and 108, whatever is in different states as well. And then you have it transferred by them. And most of this 102 and 108, well, if they have a basic ambulance service, they just have one driver who's there and is being picked up, and the patient is picked up and transported. Now, what is the situation, in these cases, such cases for the doctors?
Have somebody who passes around the mic, if that's possible.
Excuse me, NCML, can we have some volunteer so that? Otherwise we are. No.
I think we have another Dr. Alex Thomas.
Sir, please come forward, sir.
I think he's a very experienced person. I think you should. Alex, please come. I think he can answer most of his questions. He's from Canada.
Questions are there. The point today is,
What are the issues?
what is it that you want the law to say?
What are suggestions
what are the
to
suggestions?
rectify and remedify those problems?
One common issue I think all the hospital may be facing is biomedical waste.
Okay,
The way you
biomedical
rightly said, and sewage treatment plant mandatory for everybody, for new hospitals, old hospitals. STP. Where we went through certain old environment acts like 1986 and one is 1981. Both of them say if there is a particular level of the effluent which is there, if your outlet gives that level, then you don't need an STP. There are two acts which we try to justify to NABH. And the same thing is put forward to the Pollution Control Board.
I think we'll not pull NABH into this.
No, I'm just, it is, see,
I
this is
don't
an
know
issue
what
where,
about NABH.
see, it's
Don't
not one
get-
hospital.
Sir, what do you
Similarly,
say? NABH and that is a big issue. Why are they insisting?
why are
is
they
a
insisting biomedical waste?
Pollution Control Board, why they are not issuing a license without STP? Is
Without
that
STP?
the question,
Yes, that's the
Dr.
question.
Khoyani?
Yes. Why?
They should, state and center should give us
Central plant. There, initially they had started to have a peripheral one.
Yes,
Then they moved
excellent.
towards central, incinerator
Very
has
good.
become
I
central.
fully appreciate
The same
this.
thing should be over there.
Yeah, because so much of space gets wasted, and who can really
See,
go to that
maintaining
huge
an
thing
STP in center of a city is more hazardous because I don't think. See,
Yes.
I know two hospitals who have installed STP, but they're not using it.
Yes.
Only to get the license, they've installed STP. They've invested 30-40 lakhs.
money, maintenance, and space. It could be a central.
It's just
one.
like for PCB certificate for the old vehicles, they get into 50 rupees or 100
Correct.
rupees. You get an old
So
machine installed and get the license.
This should be central rather than having peripheral unit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes,
Anybody
that's very
who have
good.
faced this issue?
Of course, it's a sir. As you know, in
Yeah.
Bombay it is a big issue.
No. See, all
We
metros
don't
will
have
be
the
very
space.
big.
Everywhere, man. Space
Nobody
is a
has
big
space.
problem. Yeah.
See, space is a problem. The more we go towards periphery, I'll give you an example where in periphery the issue is where the effluent will be disposed because there are farms around. When you dispose the effluent in the farms, okay, there is no drainage system. The farm, the
land
soil gets spoiled.
Polluted.
Yes.
So this is counter way. Both the places the issues will happen, even in city as well as in periphery.
I hope all of you agree, that this is an issue all over, because I think at least in Mumbai,
Big issue in
it's a very big issue for every institution to have. And out of Mumbai, I know in Karnataka many hospitals, sir, do have, I think, but it is a very common issue. Dr. Alex, could you, for the
I joined
benefit-
a little late. So
Doesn't matter, doctor. You could self-introduce for the benefit of.
Good afternoon, all of you. I'm Dr. Alex from Bangalore. I'm on the board of NABH also, and I'm the executive director of AHPA, that's the Association of Health Providers of India. And I work with the World Bank. We're trying to introduce entry-level standards into the whole country. Now, I think I wasn't here for the whole discussion, but basically how I look at it, and in the afternoon when talk, I think all of us, will it help the patient? I think that's the primary, and will it cause a hazard to the community? I think that's how I would look at it.
So the issue is what we have in mind today is the deliberations here is that here's a set of hospital administrators. So we are supposed to lay down SOPs, procedures, etc. and may ensure reasonable quality also with it. At the same time, law has its impounding things. Like say, you have to compulsorily stabilize a patient who comes in emergency, or the rights of a patient to buy their own medicines. Or for example, as Dr. Khoyani says, the MPCB board says, like STP. So what are the hurdles? What are the speed breakers the hospital administrators face because of the law, because of certain licensing? Apart, licensing authority is one, and actual law, like giving emergency treatment, you have to treat the patients of sexual assault compulsorily, acid victim attacks, people who do not pay the bill, you cannot discontinue treatment. You can't throw out a patient or say go to another hospital. They also have
Yeah, I agree. It's all totally one-sided.
So what are the...
So we are talking about STPs. I meant that...
STP is one of the issues, and these deliberations we enumerate, we give it to the Institute of Medicine and Law. They take it up with the Delhi's ministry, law ministry, that can you amend the law, can you issue a notification by which the healthcare professionals and the HCOs can work smoothly without things, because the law creates a hurdle and we have to obey the law.
Absolutely. Yes, we need a good working environment.
Yeah, so the first point we have noted, Sir Dr. Alex, is about emergency. Patients come in an emergency because the law says we have to treat them, we treat them, even if they don't have money. What is the extent of treatment before we stabilize and stand? What if they refuse to go? What is the mode of transport? All those things. And, there is no guidance to say what is the level of stability. Then there was another this thing, when you take Clinical Establishment Act, certain minimum facilities should be there. A newborn comes, something happens, breech delivery, patient dies, mother dies, child dies. They should not hold responsibility, don't have the minimum facilities. Third thing, as Dr. Coyne said, getting a license under the Biomedical Waste Act, because the Central Pollution Control Board and therefore the State Pollution Control Board clearly says that we should have an STP, and nobody is giving a license, and the hospitals are facing the problems because of space, because of also maintenance costs. So initially we used to have, even 10 years back, the waste used to be taken. They never used to insist on a STP for every hospital. We used to have a central ground, all the waste used to go, that used to be the central thing. So why can't we have that, and why they are insisting on this? So we are deliberating more and more issues. So for example, buying medicines from outside. Anybody wants to talk about it? Patients buying medicines from outside. Yes, Dr. Babu.
Clearly, the Joint Commission International and our NABH says, hospital medicines cannot be procured from outside. It has to be through the hospital. We cannot allow outside medicine. That's very clear. Keeping in the intention that the quality is maintained. When the medicines are delivered. One. The moment you allow outside medicine, the cold chain, and there's so many issues that come up. In fact, there was a case where some methotrexate was injected into the eye, and outside medicine patient lost his vision, and there was a problem because you do not know what is there in that particular medicine. There could be a spurious medicine and all. Definitely, if there is a contradiction about the patient has a right to buy medicine, and the hospital says the patient safety is more priority for us. That is an issue which I think should be addressed.
Yeah, this is a right of a patient which has been recently introduced by one of the National Commission judgments. So that is another thing. If they buy some spurious or misbranded or adulterated medicine, then the hospital definitely comes under the...
In that case, none of the patients would use hospital medicine. If this is
because they say it is cheaper and whatever and all those
we will have all the dealers and the medication people coming in and selling that medicine to each of the patients' bed.
Still they will not buy it. So the money is paid by the hospital, and at the time of discharge only you pay that money. People who don't want to pay the money, they will use the hospital.
That's another issue, sir. So
they
you
continue
just
to do
voice
it.
Just
Most of the hospitals have a policy that beyond a particular limit, when you are 50,000 or 1 lakh or whatever is an outstanding, they try to ask the patient to pay for the medicine or go down into the pharmacy, buy the medicine and bring it. But still they don't do it because they get this medicine free till to the discharge. Their bill goes on mounting. We have cases where we have 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakh, and on one side you cannot neglect a patient. You cannot say that I will not give you this dose today, and if he dies or if there is a problem, then you are responsible. At the same time, he is not willing to buy. You have no option but to buy the medicine.
Yes, so yes, you are right. It's a very, very valid point, Dr. Karanjikar. Dr. Karanjikar is one of the senior most all of you know. He's a epitome of hospital administrator. And even if you give the option, because it's costly, they know that the doctor is supposed to treat the patient. The HCO is supposed to continue to treat. That is because of the code of ethics, and even as per the Supreme Court, you cannot discontinue to treat once you enter into a contract. And therefore, as Sir says rightly, at the time of discharge, they just put their hands up. So what are your experiences about non-payment of fees? So that is another issue. How many of you all have faced, and what are your methods for remedy? Dr. Koyani?
The commonest thing is you send a legal notice. First is you try 3 registrations, 3 registered information you send to the patient to the respective address which they have given, and after that you send the legal notice. Beyond that, I don't think any of the hospital have gone beyond that to fight or to the consumer forum to retrieve money.
Civil court, they go to civil court for dues.
And the civil court durations are, if I'm not wrong, for 2 or 3 generations.
Not always. You can have it in 2 to 3 years.
Because I don't think any hospital has got, believe me, this is something which no hospital would intend to do. Where
to pull a patient to court.
To pull a patient to the court.
Embarrassing thing.
And once the case goes to the court, the media is waiting. Okay, the media, I know where police stations, there are media people, they've got contract with all the media agencies. If any case registered, anywhere, any case registered, first information will go to all the press reporters, and the next day it will be a news highlight.
Yeah. No
If this becomes a news highlight, what will happen to the hospital reputation? From tomorrow, patient will stop coming.
No, they don't stop coming. They presume कि पैसा नहीं है तो उस हॉस्पिटल में जाने का.
It's direct or indirect.
वही होगा. पैसा नहीं है तो X हॉस्पिटल में जाओ. वहाँ पे क्या है कि कुछ नहीं बात. But for that, if you take a legal action, publicize it that one patient left without clearance of bill. Publicize it as much as possible. I have done it in Gurgaon. In my hospital, the amount was just 7,200 rupees. The patient left. Then actually I didn't file the case. I had a setting with the police jockey there, and that SHO. I asked that I need to recover this money, and he could recover. And then in all my meetings, everywhere in the news, I spent around 10,000-15,000 rupees for that, just to reclaim my reputation that it's not easy from Mangalam Hospital or Samit Hospital to go without them. That is moral.
I agree. Basically, what happens? Sometimes we also supports to that extent. Yeah. But sometimes what happens, the patient also get the benefit of the crowd or maybe the political interference. So it's creating the problem for the hospital, not to disturb the environment.
It's in the acute stage of some action.
Maybe what happens?
Don't insist at that time, because see, if a patient is dying or is dead and other thing, you have to compromise on that cost. I'm not talking of that scene. I'm talking of those professionals who do not pay in the hospitals. Right. There is a group, professional group, and there is a caucus. They have an understanding. पैसा नहीं है, वो बड़े-बड़े कुर्ते पहन के माला डालते हैं.
Again, it is depending on situation to situation.
But see, what should be the remedy, legal remedy?
Legally also we have to see what is the.
We have to ask forward. See, we are here to deliberate. Yes, we put up an issue that patients go away without paying dues. Okay, it looks so bad for any hospital to go to police. As people, the press is waiting for some spicy news. The bichara patient. Every time patient is bichara.
No hospital or no doctor is bichara.
And hospitals also cannot just go red. Let us understand. It's very, very important. Whatever it may be. So therefore, what is the way out without creating all this?
So
yes,
sir,
please.
Actually, one solution is always prevention is better than cure. So I think I come from a mission background, but now I've been working with a large number of hospitals. So many hospitals.
Medical College?
Yeah, I am on the board.
CMC.
Yes, and now in Bangalore and other mission hospitals. So we get ripped off very easily. People come and say we are poor, we don't have. So what we have instituted is that we take an advance from those who can afford it, and every day we give an up-to-date bill. And if they don't pay, then you know that they're going in this direction, so we put more pressure. So that's one way of prevention. It doesn't work in all the cases, but it does work in about 90% of the cases.
Yeah, then another issue that a lot of people, every time you come to a hospital, when you're paying the bill, they said, all right, what discount are you offering us?
Okay, they ask for discount.
Yeah, they say, if we don't have the money, discount kar dijiye. And that is one of the very common things that happens. At least in Delhi, I have discount.
Oh my God, patients asking for discounted treatment.
It is rampant.
Yes,
100%. Every other patient comes for discount.
So you go to a restaurant, you don't ask for a discount.
Discount the last one, you will have hospital.
They straightway ask discount. In a restaurant, they never ask for discount.
One major
And they'll
issue
tip
is
the bearer.
during emergency and during admission. During emergency admission, patient will give consent for anything and everything. But while discharge, they disagree to whatever they have said.
No, it's not that, sir.
Consent for everything and everything means.
For any
will you just
emergency
clarify
treatment,
the
डॉक्टर साहब
pricing?
मेरे मरीज को ठीक कर दो, पैसे की चिंता
पैसे की चिंता मत करो. This is statement generally.
But unfortunately, there are 3 sets of attendants. The first set comes into the emergency. They are not seen afterwards. The second set is during the recovery treatment.
That is
And the
another
final
very
set
big
is very dangerous, which comes during billing and discharge time. So we should take care of that.
Different set of relatives at different time. I think it is a very, very major issue
But
which
this is a
Dr. Bashir
practical.
has brought
So
up.
signing of
It's a
consent
practical
at the
thing.
time of admission is done by
So
somebody else.
whenever
Yes,
I
yes.
explain the procedure and prognosis to the patient, I just ask कि पैसे कौन देगा उसको मेरे पास बुलाओ. Normally what happens?
It happens,
वो सब
yes, that
बोलेगा
is true, sir.
serious patient, सर वैसे ठीक तो है ना? अरे यार patient का GCI 3 है, आप उसको ठीक तो है ना? सर कोई बात नहीं, पैसे की चिंता. मैंने कहा पैसा कौन देगा उसको बुलाओ, उसको सारा एक्सप्लेन उसको करो, उससे लिखवाओ और उससे बोलो कि पैसे की भी मेरी जिम्मेदारी. See, you have to take extra care.
So,
Very extra care. And do little, see, we are doing nowadays defensing doctrine. That is the way most unfortunate for the society, not for the doctors. And a time will come that foreign patients will get treatment in India and Indians will go abroad.
It is happening, sir.
And see, we will make our sons or our wards doctors only to treat our families so that they know the know-how and everything.
Sir, over here there is
This is the society's loss. This is the society's
See, I would just ask, how many children are going to become doctors? How many doctors?
I am the unfortunate father whose younger son also opted bio.
See, I am telling you, there was a very big article
But I am very
in
happy.
Times of India, I think a couple of years back, which stated the number of people appearing for medical entrance have dropped by about 15 to 20%.
and I have seen a fourth set of relatives, sir. Any wives to claim the death certificate. I have faced that situation quite often.
Number of
Really?
Yes.
Number of times.
I'm sure even
In fact,
you know
in
any
one of my
hospital,
previous hospitals,
Okay.
right?
in Lilavati when I was there, it did happen. Two wives are very common.
Very
And
common.
unfortunately,
Very
on the first day of my joining there, one was Hindu, one was Muslim. So I had a major problem of taking. It was a filmy personality. Again, there was a still problem. We called up all film people, right from Sunil Dutt to everybody. He said, take the body home and decide whatever you want to do. Don't do it in the hospital corridor.
Yeah.
Finally, they agreed, they took the body. But then, it's a major problem. Last minute, somebody comes up
Yes.
and says that he is my dad or my
Yes,
husband or
yes.
somebody.
Yes,
And
yes.
how do we do it?
Yes, and I think administrators sometimes, as sir said, even at sir's level, I mean sometimes it becomes very difficult. And what if a senior administrator is not just contactable? What does the junior do? You know, the body goes to the wrong son or to the wrong wife. It becomes a very big issue, and then the hospital is held liable. You know, I do not know what the law has to say, sir. You are a Supreme Court lawyer, but okay. But I think I feel this is one of the issues we should forward up to the through the Institute of Law and Medicine for deliberation. What in the instance is as Dr. Bashir says, who is the person who is going to pay the bill? He is going to give the consent and do. Same way, I mean, in case of death. When the person is deteriorating, or sometimes in sudden death does occur very often.
No, law will not take cognizance. They will say that the person who is to pay will not be there during the emergency. Actually, see, there are many flaws. So, one more important thing is
Whether at the time of
Body
admission,
handing over, because admitting person, but then legal heirs may be there, legal heirs may not be there. At the time of
practical
death,
problem.
when they will come there,
yeah,
should you hand over the body to them or should you not hand over the body to them?
yeah.
Because legally also it is not clear.
Because
Yeah.
it's not
Not
possible
clear.
for me to find out who is the legal heir and at the last minute somebody claims something. Should be the person who came as the next to kin and signed on the paper. Should I hand over the body to him or should I hand over the body to actual son or next son or whatever it is?
And what happens, how much we paying
No.
bill and who will
You
be
can't
taking
include
the
them.
certificate.
No,
We can't
it's
include it. Looks
not
embarrassing.
feasible.
Yeah, and another problem which all of us would have faced. If the patient is alive, well and good. But if the patient is no more, third party wants a copy of medical record. Sometimes the son says, and I face this very often, sir, let me tell you, and the wife says do not hand over, son says hand over, or the son is asking for records and the wife says don't give, and the son and the wife are fighting for some property, you know. So many times, see, a man dies, we hold in India today, the first right is to the wife, right? Wife says the medical record won't be given to the TPA or anybody. The son comes fighting, I am the son, even I want a record. You know, do we give or no? And the code of ethics says, you know, that if a relative of the kid, code of ethics just says authorized attendant. What is the meaning of this authorized relative? I mean, I think even the High Court is unable to answer this question, that who has a right to give the consent for release of medical records. When you say authorized, is it the son, is it the daughter, is it the wife? You know, we think everything is okay. No, everybody is fighting within the family. I do not know whether anybody else has faced this problem.
Yes.
We also see this.
What has been your experience, sir?
Ma'am, they can.
See, when the children come and fight, you know, they can even go to court.
No, they go to the court.
Yeah.
Then we ask them to go to the court order. Go to the court and ask the court to give an order.
Yeah.
And then certified copy will be.
So I think we'll add this also as a point, because see, because law says it is confidential, you need the consent of authorized attendant. What is the meaning of authorized attendant? Can we differentiate between spouse and child, or between the son and daughter, son and married daughter?
One small way out can be that normally, see, I'm a surgeon.
Yes,
so
yes.
whenever we take consent for surgery, we ask for authorization, proxy authorization. In case the patient is sedated or anesthetized, and suppose we have to
See, you know, for everything. Now tomorrow an actual legal hire comes and we refuse. Again, we are in trouble if the person goes to High Court or anywhere. They will say this
at
is.
least we can say ourselves that the patient authorized this person as.
Yeah. So therefore, I think we'll also have to deliberate this through the Institute of Law and Medicine as for release of information, you know, or for giving proxy consent. What do you mean by authorized thing? Just because tomorrow the law says whether the sister or the brother or the mother or the wife, then we can give to anybody, then nobody can fight with us. Why do we give to him when I have refused? You know, like today we are going by wife. Who said son is not authorized?
That's
and tomorrow if that son goes to court, the court will say give to the son. Of course, we can't tell every consumer go to the court, High Court, spend 2 lakhs of rupees, get an order. That also looks cruel, you know. So I think we'll forward this issue also. What's the definition of authorized should be?
Yes. Yeah.
Similarly, ma'am, just we could add one more thing here. Suppose the spouse is not there, one of the parents is dead, and then the kids, the son or the daughter would become the legal heir.
Yes.
In such a situation, who will be the authorized heir? So the son should get it or the daughter should get it?
If both the parents are.
If one of the parents was already dead before.
One then the other.
One or the other. Either of
If
them.
both the parents are not there, then the kids come.
When the kid comes, then in that situation, whom are you giving the authorization? The son or the daughter?
Yeah.
And son, elder son, younger son.
All children,
All
above the
children.
age, all above the age of 18 are authorized.
Similarly,
Our
you
area,
have
we
lot
prefer
of,
son-in-law. Most of the problems.
Similarly, also there are a lot of queries, regarding the date and time of birth by different parties when they come to your
Date
child
and
was
time
born.
of?
Date and time of birth. Your kundli match करनी होती है तो matchmaking में. A lot of time they come to ask for. A child was born there. Can we have some record? What is the correct time and date of birth? There's a dispute.
It's only during the admission time, no?
No, sir. Later on, when the kundli
It's
शादी के
a
बाद
record.
time उस time आता है.
Oh, it is entered in the discharge card, you see.
Okay, so we will forward this. I mean, if both the parents are dead, which son or which daughter, who has the right to authorize, what you call, on behalf of?
Authorized attendant.
Authorize the parents.
Authorized attendant.
Authorized attendant,
You can claim
for releasing medical records.
documents.
That's exactly. That's very, very important.
Record, body, payment, so many things.
Okay. Yes, sir. Any
Yeah,
other
one
major
more.
issues you think?
Yeah, one of the issues which is coming very often, especially in the disturbed areas, is whether to advise for the post-mortem or not.
Sorry?
Post-mortem of a patient, medical autopsy. See, I had number of cases at various hospitals. Political people who were murdered brought to the hospital. About 1,000 people were there. Patient died. They said, we'll take the body. I can't give you the body. Then my casualty fellow was thrashed up. Still we said, we'll not give you the body. We contacted local police. Police just refused to pick up the phone because they know it's a big political drama. So ultimately at the end of 2 hours, they took the body. Then we contacted another police station. I personally contacted commissioner. Then while body was at the crematorium, then they seized the body, sent for postmortem and then allowed them to do it. But this used to happen very often where the political interferences are there. And how much is the liability of a hospital for not doing a postmortem?
Sir, it is not our duty to conduct postmortem.
But if I have to release the body to the next to kin or the people who are there, should I do it or should I not do it?
Whenever a postmortem exam, just to inform the police. And police at 100, it never happens that they will not pick up the phone. It never happens.
He is saying the situation where he has faced the problem, police have not
No,
done anything.
listen. Had I been there, I would have. Listen, sir. Listen. If I snatch your purse from your pocket, what you can do? They have snatched the body. You have not handed it over. And then what Advocate Balaji said, our record speaks, our documentation speaks. You have mentioned that at 11:13 I called 100. I informed that there is a suspected death and the postmortem needs to be conducted. Your duty is over. Whether they come or not, and the simple, see, I faced it just 20 days back, sir. Those Mewatis, they entered into my hospital. Kaha karoge tu? Kyun nahi dega humko? Because the postmortem is a taboo in that particular society. They don't see whatever happens, and police cannot do anything there. They will, take away your vehicle. Police knows that it is with him, but they can't help you. So in that situation, I said, you can forcefully take it away. I will not allow. I just informed the police, and actually they were taking it away. But by that time, police came. So, sir, our duty is very defined and simple that we have to inform police.
I think most of the time the police police first said you give the body, don't request for postmortem. Patient died during anesthesia, and I asked them to conduct a postmortem. They said no, we are busy. Then next thing said we are coming tomorrow. In half an hour time, because you were the police officer who died, a lot of police people came and they took the body, and they did not. We just had only recording it from CCTV. So one of the advocates advised me that to go to commissioner's website and mail. This is what is happening at that point of time. So I think we should access them online.
What IT person was sitting here, and under their notice.
Yes.
Sir,
100%.
Just inform by email, by WhatsApp, by whatever. But the best thing is, nearest police station, have the person in your confidence. It always pays. It always pays. Diwali, Dashera, Holi पे थोड़ा ध्यान रखो.
सब आ रहे हैं अभी रास्ते में, लाइन में आ रहे हैं. We should go ahead for deliberation.
Patients are terminally ill. There are cancer patients in there, and then the family honestly comes and tell me, please put him in the room. Sir, please put him in the room. Now I'm in a dilemma whether I understand I can send them on a dama, but it's very painful for us. We have been treating all the time, and suddenly we tell you get out of the hospital. You sign a document and get out. I'm just legal. I'm worried about illegal. That really pains me. We know that it is not going to help the patient. We are full. Patient family tells we cannot. We don't want him to suffer anymore. And sometimes we don't have money. That is also issue. Now I force the treatment on them. I continue the treatment in ICU, and that is, I think, still to be addressed by the courts.
We'll forward this also issue.
There is another question do not resuscitate.
DNR.
DNR.
DNR. So with the protocols and that are not clear, can we just...
We are not the authority to give a death certificate. The death certificate comes from the municipal commission.
Yes, we have to give a
cause of death also you cannot give because you do not know. The person has been brought in dead. You are just basically declaring no life.
You're perfectly right. I fully agree with you, sir. Because what happens, even though we do that...
All the cases.
Exactly. Because this is a dilemma.
Or should that be going for postmortem after that?
I fully agree. What happens,
Though we are supposed to legally inform the police, sometimes you know in your heart of hearts with all the supporting documents, yes, I can give this cause, but then can we give it? We can't. So this I think we can forward that if you have supporting documents of cause of death and if you do not suspect by examination of the body.
No, if you have a cause of death,
even if
15 days earlier,
the
patient
documents
is
are
taking
available.
treatment with you and the same doctor is available for that, you can give a cause of death.
But it is not
Otherwise, you have to
legal.
hand it over to the police.
Yes, but sir,
For
it is
them to
again
decide
not.
whether to get the post.
Police will decide.
Police, you know, so
Generally,
what
they
happens?
call 5 people, take a panchnama
Yes,
and
yes.
hand over the body. If it is old
Yes,
person,
sir.
they don't suspect something.
But then they should, young adults or people who had some terminal illness, then all those things become. But the main issue becomes where it's between the age group of 15 to 35, people who are brought in dead, and where you have no practical cause. And that is the time when the casualty people have to face the biggest of brunt, because they want to take away the body and you want to make a medical legal case of it, inform the police and everything. Once the police is informed, the postmortem will be conducted. And that is how when there's pull and pushes, everything is
Normally
moving.
this happens in care. So what happens normally when this broad patient comes, either the PM has to be done and sent to the police to have
All
avoid the
this is
situation.
not legal. See what we are trying to say. We are just handing it, but it is not in law says if such a death comes, you have to give to police. Okay, but we are trying to help out because social and we feel yes. So this we can handle as a deliberation that if there is a documentation, can the HCOs do such a thing? Yeah.
In the documentation part is normally you go to the medical legal police and then the rest of things. But when there is the pressure on the casualty, sometimes what happens, the mob came and they want to take the body immediately without doing anything. Then situation for the administrator becomes very difficult. So in that scenario,
I got your point. Any other issues,
Sir,
Dr. Alex? You have anything
Going
about
by what you were saying,
Mob, when they want to take away the patient,
yes.
you have to just inform the police that they have taken away the patient. So I think that is the safest.
Mob tendency is very
Yeah, you can't.
Mob
And as he said, the onus is on the police, not on us.
Mob management, we have to make a protocol. The law has to really give us support in all these things.
Staffing of the Hospital Clinical Establishment Act and the practical reality, whether we are able to match or we are manipulating
Yes, that is important. Staffing pattern. When we immediately say technicians, nurses, this is the number of bed strength.
Is there any guidelines? Nurses ratio, doctors ratio?
Nurses, there is a guideline. Technicians, there are vague guidelines. Other areas you don't have.
Nurses, what is the guidance?
If it is a thumb rule, it is 1 to 1.5 beds. But then area-wise, you have a ventilatory patient, 1:1 ICU nursing. Non-ventilatory patient, 2:1 ICU nursing. In the ward, you have got 5 beds, 1 nurse can be sufficient. Then OPDs and OTs, you can have 3 nurses.
All are GNM.
All are there.
All are GNM.
Registered.
GNM.
No,
Or ANM.
No, you
All
can have
registered nurses. Registered nurses.
Registered means ANM or GNM? There are
ANM are not registered with the nursing
So
home.
we have that much of nurses to man the hospital.
This problem is sorted in cities. It is not. It cannot be sorted in rural areas.
Outside it is not
In rural
sorted.
areas, you don't get
I think,
registered.
Dr. Alex?
I think the legal establishment, I was part of it, and a lot of it is unrealistic. But there is some good news. Recently, NABH has signed an MOU with the Health Sector Skill Council. The Health Sector Skill Council is under the government of India, and we are training nurse assistants and people who have not finished school. And that will be now accepted by NABH, and then subsequently it has to be accepted by for clinical establishment, because there are no nurses. As of today, there are 2.4 million. There is a shortage of 2.4 million nurses. So what is asked and what is practically, it's totally different. So hopefully with the Health Sector Skill Council, we will be able to offer employment for people who have dropped out, whom we have trained, and it will be recognized by the government. There's a huge gap in the needs of the skilled personnel, and so I think there are some good things happening.
Yeah, I think we can quote that even in England, the number of anesthetists number is very low. So they have taken something called anesthesia practitioner, which means somebody who's a BA, who's trained with the anesthesia for 2 to 3 years, one anesthetist has 3 practitioners to give anesthesia. So they have to go to the reality. They don't have anesthetists for each and every patient.
See, but then I think amongst our community there's a difference of opinion. Again, since I come from a mission background, I know that in remote areas there is no doctor, it's a nurse who is actually taking care of. But unfortunately, though I am a branch president of IMA, the IMA feels very differently. They feel that you cannot have nurse practitioners, they should not be a threat to doctors. So I think we need to be sure, and I think it's the easiest thing to do is follow the developed countries. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, you just have to follow. So it seems sensible in our country where there's such a shortage that we train technicians, we empower nurses.
Yes.
But as of now, the IMA has taken a very strong stand against nurse practitioners, nurse anesthetists, etc.
But that's why NRHM already is allowing A&M nurses to give injections to conduct delivery.
No, they've gone to court on that. No? IMA has gone to court.
Similarly, the junior doctors, the same cases for junior doctors also. Qualified junior doctors are required in majority of the hospitals, and it is not available. 80% of the hospitals
Say there is a shortage of MBBS doctors, but today, just say at any one time, there are 150,000 MBBS doctors sitting at home and studying.
Yes.
And what is the reason? It's a very simple solution. There are not enough specialists. The medical council, for some unknown reason, doesn't increase the seats. So a very simple solution is that increase the number of postgraduate seats. All these 150,000 doctors will come into the system, and they shouldn't. So the dynamics in the country are very different. The solution is staring you in the face, but people don't want to do it for various reasons.
So what we can do now, it's 11:30 in medicine. The first and foremost, we'll be forwarding about the emergency patients who come to the casualty. What about the cost? Because anyway cost has to be recovered. The second thing is, what is the level when they are going to be stabilized? What is the level of stability before transfer? Number 3, what if the patients refuse to go and they still don't pay? So this is it. Number 4, as Dr. Bashir said, suppose you don't have the facility, and because of that a casualty happens. You have a newborn, just head on perineum, baby delivers, is no obstetrics. Okay. Again, on one side the CA says you should have all the facilities. We may not be having the facility, Then what is the liability of the institution? That is it. Then next, Dr. Jagdish had said about the biomedical waste, The Central Pollution Control Board and the state has said that STP is a mandatory thing for giving the license. But this is a waste of space, and initially we had a central plant, so why don't we shift to that? Because maintenance, etc. is a huge cost, it's a wastage of space, and no extra advantage is really obtained by individual HCOs having this. If there's an obvious advantage, all of us would be having us by now, So it is only a liability, and central plant works each as well, so that we can forward. Buying medicines from outside, patients, okay, as sir said, even if you have a cap, say more than 50,000, we'll tell the patient you can go out and buy. But they say no, under one roof we are happy, and all those things. At the end of the day, they are not going to pay that also, So that is it. And if you permit outside, what if it is spurious, misbranded, adulterated, the liability, that is also there. Okay. The next issue we can hand over is, what if, this is a question for every hospital issue, what if the dues are not paid, And if we try to take action going to the police or elsewhere, then immediately we come to the flash that this hospital is doing this, we come into the adverse publicity. Therefore, what is the right way? We can go ahead, can we publicize about this? And again, even if we try to do political interferences, say, can we have a law, or something where they should then later on pay us, or from which fund we should get a sanction that our costs are covered by some central fund, that should be there. The government should somehow.
The government is telling us to give free emergency
Then
treatment,
they should reimburse
the same.
So something like that should be there. So we give the papers of emergency care, then okay, give us the funds, because why should the hospital go into the red for obeying the law? Okay, so that, then again, discounted treatment, of course. Okay, what is the meaning of discounted treatment? Let us have some standards, for different class or whatever, and then that will be good. Then the relatives, who is authorized representative, whether for surgery who comes, for payment of money who comes, for claiming the death certificate, release of medical records, confidentiality of medical records. Who is going to be the definition of authorized relative? Though we have the clause in the Council of Code of Medical Ethics, which is a byproduct of Medical Council of India Act 1956, the Code of Ethics in 2002 saying authorized representative. What is the exact definition? The definition of authorized representative is missing. Definition of relative under Human Organ Transplant Act is very clear, but definition of authorized representative on behalf of the patient to whom we can hand over the records is clearly missing. So whether it is a son, daughter, brother, sister, the parents are missing, then who, etc. That is very important. Okay, more than one relative, authorized representative coming to claim the death certificate. This is another issue. Post-mortem, again, political interference. It's a big nuisance to any hospital administrator, and I'm sure all of us sitting here have faced this headache more than not once or twice. It is innumerable. Issue of death certificate when it's an unnatural cause. The patient comes dead, you can't. Again, there are 25 phone calls from all over, and especially in a city like Mumbai with the Shiv Sena, you know how things are. Your hospital, see, everywhere hospitals are getting broken. See, what happens? Where is the protection? A mob comes in and then, I've seen, I don't want to quote, mob just comes in and takes away the casualty and all these things happen in the ground floor. So mob just comes and, you're just, this thing, then how do we even give physical protection to the staff working under us? People coming and slapping the CMO, coming with AK-47 into casualty.
Yes.
It happens. It has happened. Mob just walks in the middle of the night. You have just one guard.
Happening daily, madam. Now the government institutes are not. In last 3 weeks, 3 major institutes in NCR, including AIMS Trauma Center, have been ransacked.
The lady doctors are not spared. They are hit, slapped. And I read in the newspapers, a doctor was even disrobed, one of the male doctors. All these things happening, attacks, mob violence on the doctors. For doing the duty, they get slapped. Then the next issue we'll forward is terminally ill. Okay, what is end of life care, DNR, DAMA, what is the practical way out? There are no clear guidelines, nothing. And if you are all strict, they have to give a DAMA before going. That becomes very inconvenient. Broad dead, no clear guidelines. Okay, then staffing pattern. Then what about doctors? We don't get enough MBBS because all sit at home to become super specialists and specialists. Nobody wants to work. So we are going to get with other pathy, so cross pathy. Can we allopath employ a Ayurveda or homeopath to work as a junior doctor?
It will be relevant to recommend this, that we increase the postgraduate seats. I think that would be better option.
Today they are not agreeing it.
Yes.
Our recommendation.
One of the friends, we had a meeting with the planning commission. I was a part of that. And so in a way, it's also through the medical council. What is happening? Beds for each student. Minimum. So if you need a 100-bedded hospital, 100-seat admission, you need 500-bed admissions. In addition to that, you need about 82 beds which come from emergency, casualty and all other places. What we suggested, in UK it is 1:3. US it is open. And most of the other countries it is 1:2. 1:5 was the ratio when there were no other tools available to teach a student. Today we have audio visuals, today we have mannequins, today we have so many things. Still MCI is sticking to the old one because right now, even if you, because that's a money earning thing for most of the hospitals.
That is the most crucial thing.
But that will come. See, what is happening on postgraduate is DNB is coming into picture, MD, MS is already there, local authorities accept their postgraduate teaching in their own state. It may not be all India level, but own state they accept it. So that will not be a big thing. But first you have to have a basic MBBS number increase. If that happens, then it will be much better.
But I think they recently increased it, no?
They tried to do it. First they have now reducing the specifications for starting a hospital from 25 acres to 15 acres in the city. The seats are also, all that they are trying to do.
Come into square feet, sir, in the future, I tell you.
It will.
No resection is needed to improve the medical education.
Absolutely.
My suggestion is, first dissolve MCI.
Yes.
Second, have a unified medical law
Should I write?
Yes, very important. At least from my side.
I don't know whether we can give that recommendation here.
Yes,
so
yes.
whether we can say that increase the number of postgraduate seats is an immediate solution to the shortage.
By putting them to the district headquarters hospitals. Training under,
Increase
So
the
if
number
you
of
start
postgraduate
on
seats
family medicine,
is another solution.
you give MD in family medicine.
One more suggestion was there, madam.
Which is 2 district hospitals.
In terms of change in the HOTA, if you can do it, what is happening, I have seen, because most of the hospitals I work transplant, all other transplants also, especially in kidney and now in liver, it is happening that I register with somebody. My registration is with the hospital. I want this registration. I am registered with Dr. Alex for my liver transplant.
ZTCC ka?
Yeah, so 3 years I am in the waiting list. When I come at the doorstep,
Go to another one. Yes.
he gets a high salary job, so he leaves that hospital. So immediately,
Yes. And this is
if I go with him, because he is a good doctor, I am the last on the list. If I stay with that, I have to, so the unique number should be given to the patient. And it is the patient choice, wherever they should go. My number comes. Today my number comes for the kidney transplant. My doctor is there, I should go there, I am following with it. But if I don't want, I want to go somebody else, I should be able to go.
Perfectly.
Otherwise, my number goes, again 3 years, it's a problem for me.
I remember just 3 days back we had somebody 6 years ho gaya abhi tak. You know?
हाँ, कुछ नहीं होता
I
है.
feel so bad, but you know, you're right. Perfectly perfect. I agree on this issue. There should be unique number for the patient.
Patient,
number.
let patient go anyway. You can mix up match, do some matrix, that's a different thing.
Yes. That is a wonderful suggestion, and if it is comes with that NATO registry, sir.
Yeah,
it
now NATO is there, so we should use that.
NATO. In fact, sir, we have got a circular. I'm sure all of you also.
Yeah.
We all got
We
a circular.
registered it.
We have to register under NATO, so it will be easier. So maybe that is the thing, you know, and those priorities are given. A patient without relative is the first one, then a patient with relative who does not give consent, a patient without relative then give written no consent, then the regional, the state, you must have gone through the full thing. So that NATO registry, if that is going to solve the problem, but we will put this deliberation and let them say NATO is going to solve this problem. Because I know people 6 years, 7 years and then last minute that brainstem that changes the decision, no? You can imagine the pathetic condition of that patient.
It happens.
Yes, it happens. 6, 7 years is not a lifetime.
There are some guidelines about the medical records discarding or we destroy them. Can we have more clarity on that?
Yes.
That's
I think fairly clear.
Oh no, Medical Council of India says 3 years, but there is Civil Medical Code which says 5 years or 10 years also.
And then for
and certain things are permanent.
Conflict.
Yeah.
Pediatric, especially they talk about pediatric, say for 20 years, 21 years, so something like this comes.
Sir, until it is dissolved, we should go with NCI.
There is no act. I agree with you, Dr. Babu.
Only 3 years. A case comes up later. A medical legal case comes up.
No, medical, there are clear guidelines. If there is a medical legal case, till its disposal. If it is a minor, till the attainment of the majority. And that limitation period of maybe 2 years or 3 or 5 or whatever it is.
But that is not written in Code of Medical Ethics, sir. That is the whole thing. Code of Ethics mein nahi hai.
Not mentioned.
It's not there. So, what I agree with Dr. Babu. Number one, we don't have a law for medical record like in UK. You have a law for medical record. Here we are relying on Code of Ethics. Okay, it is a byproduct.
But then, madam, it should be an overriding law rather than multiple laws and then new law.
Exactly.
Overriding law.
And even the digital records coming, sir, what do they talk about it? We have some, digital records.
Digital record is best.
Okay, that comes under IT.
No, but is it valid, sir? Is it a hard copy or a soft copy?
Validity of that.
Validity of the digital
Or you need a
digital
digital
records.
record again.
No, it's valid. Law is very clear. It is valid.
Yeah, that's valid.
If you are maintaining a digital record in a
It's
normal...
valid.
See,
It's valid.
record
No,
is
sir, I have scanned the records. I have scanned the hard copies
research
and
purpose, for other things, studies.
As long as you have a procedure which you have followed.
Sure. And the last thing, sir, I think definitely
Validity of digital means you mean to say scanned copies or
both, madam. Scanned copies and electronic, our records.
But
last
an
one,
electronic record at back end you can modify. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I can modify any record in the hospital.
With your password you can modify.
Yes.
Yeah, admin can do it. So that record, how do you?
Yeah, that
There will be an entry as to who has modified at what point of time.
That is also in my hand.
All the logs.
That's also in our hands.
Maintained. All the logs.
Everything is
Who
in
is
our
logging?
hands.
What
was
But
modified.
why would you be interested in changing the record
Oh my.
at such distance of time?
That is
You
all.
would be
What you are
interested
saying
in-
is being so it's vested in.
Ma'am, the last one I think definitely will be asking for this, unreasonable compensation by the courts, that is absolutely,
Of course. That
the
we are
way
in a
the
major
compensation
section.
is claimed based on the person, how much he is earning and how long he is going to survive.
Depends on the victim. If
Victim
the
not
victim
depends
is
on the,
earning in crores,
or
then
not
we'll have
depends
to
on the
pay
crime that
millions
is
of
committed,
crores.
it
Yes.
doesn't
The
decide on the.
level of negligence should be on par with the what compensation should be given.
Exactly.
For small negligence, you can't give very high
Sir,
compensation.
I agree with
So
you.
that
Today-
parity has to come, and
Like-
some clarity from government or law has to
Very
come.
important. Very important, sir. I agree because it is the what has happened and what is it should be straight. Here now it is related to the earnings of the consumer. So if a person is not earning and is old, he'll not get much. But if he's a businessman earning crores, then for the same injury
Yeah, that
he will
Calcutta
get.
case is only because they were foreigners.
I mean, if that is required, then
Cardiology standby.
yes. Whether it is required, and if it is required, how many cases can be done in a day in one state?
Should we wind up? Call it a day?
They have not defended Dr.
Call it a section?
Thank you so much.
Okay, then go to the main. Thank you all for active participation. Let us hope that we'll be documenting, forwarding it, and let us hope for the best.
Thank you.
Thank you all and all. Thank you, sir.
They will take it evidence because the low court